Hello and welcome to another coffee bean review for www.getbean.com. I'm the Mean Bean Machine, and today we're reviewing Rave Coffee's Fudge Blend Evolution. It's been a miserable day here all day at Get Bean Towers, so what better way to cheer ourselves up by trying a new coffee. And this is very new for us. I've never had any Rave beans before. And I actually discovered them. We've ordered in a few coffees recently after reading an article on the BBC's Good Food blog about the best coffee beans to order online. And since I'm ordering most of my beans online at the moment due to, not wanting to leave the house and not having a great deal of independent coffee shops where I live, I thought that's a great place to start. Now, the actual article didn't recommend Rave's fudge blend, but rather, I think it might be their house blend. Anyway, I'll put a link in the bottom so you can check out the article. But what drew me in was, it literally says fudge. The problem with this now, I've discovered, is there's no tasting notes apart from fudge. Which is interesting. I tried to do some research on it, and it's just a medium to dark roast, roasted after the first crack and not quite to the second crack. And then there's no tasting notes. What they do is they give you a little tasting note card. I don't know if they're supposed to fill that or if they fill that in themselves or if it is for your own tasting notes, but it's entirely blank on this one. So I presume it's for yourself. So we'll give it a go. And it should taste like fudge, apparently. Honestly, given that it's a medium to dark roast, it might be a little bit bitterer than what a lot of people will expect. I mean, although it says fudge, it's not going to taste like fudge, it's going to taste like coffee. I've said this 1,000 times before and I'll keep saying it. Tasting notes are not a direct comparison, they're just what certain tones evoke. They're evocative, but they're not direct comparison. Anyway, I imagine it being fudge, it will be better as the milky kind of flat white or latte. I possibly even lends itself to cappuccino, but we'll give it a go as I usually do with my kind of oat milk latte after we've tried it as an espresso shot. So we'll grind up these beans and see how it goes. We've just poured the espresso shot there. Really nice kind of level of crema. It really came up quite light and with a really thick crema kind of straight away, and it's dissipated fairly quickly. So this bag was $6.25 for 250 grams from ravecoffee.co.uk, which is what I'd expect to be paying for kind of proper, decent coffee per bag, but you also got to factor in shipping with that. But if you are a first-time buyer, you can sign up to their mailing list and get 15% off your first order, which isn't too bad going. The problem with that is you don't necessarily want it off your first order. You want to try the coffee and then maybe buy in bulk. But regardless, my other issue with this, I told you it hasn't got any tasting notes apart from fudge. Great, but I would like maybe a bit more. Although, like I say, the interactivity of kind of do it yourself, mate, is interesting. But it doesn't tell me where the beans are from. It says blend here, and it doesn't say anything apart from blend. Like, great, but where are they from? I want to know the origin of my beans. And it's a bit irritating because a lot of their other coffee on the site says, Colombian, whatever, from whatever region, and this just says fudge blend. But maybe that's also, because of its marketing, it's appealing to idiots that are drawn in just, like me, who just go, oh, fudge. And maybe they don't need to put that extra effort in. But in this case, I would have liked to know more. Anyway, let's give it a sip as an espresso, see how it turns out. It's got a really strong kind of, actually quite a bitter coffee smell. Again, quite a bitter smell when you open up the beans, no sweetness there. And then when you pour the shot, quite a bitter smell, but that's just the smell. Let's give it a sip and analyse the situation. Right, first things first, am I getting fudge? No. There's a very slight aftertaste, and I mean slight, at which I can go, right, I can sort of see what they're getting at. And I'm presuming that will really come out in a milkier drink. As an espresso, it's not watery, you know, and if it was, that would be my extraction. That wouldn't necessarily be their fault. But there's not a great sense of flavour. You kind of go, yeah, that's coffee. There's no bitterness at all, really. But there's also no sweetness. There's no kind of great sense of acidity cutting across the tongue. It's a really middle of the road taste from an espresso. Like, there's no cloying darkness, there's no real punch in the throat. You know, I mean, that's not very descriptive, but you know, espresso drinkers like something that, you know, really, that a lot of people, espresso drinkers are weird in terms of a lot of people do not drink their coffee like that. You have to either water it down for a long black drink or, you know, add milk for most other people. So espresso drinkers really like something really quite powerful and strong, and that's not giving me anything. Which is not to say that it should do, because like I say, they specifically say, oh, try this with as a milky drink, which is great for someone like me, but I'm just not getting a lot from it. You kind of sip it and go, yeah, that's coffee, and there's no kind of strong sense of acidity, no sweetness, but also no bitterness. Like, at no point on my tongue am I going, ugh, which a lot of coffee does initially. Well, I guess maybe there is a little bit of sweetness, but it's not that kind of fruity sweetness. There's definitely some acidity kind of hiding in there, but nothing is really eminent. There's no strong tone that comes to the fore as an espresso. We'll give it a go with the oat milk as a latte, see what I think then. But presently, not getting a lot. Interestingly, initially from that pour, is you're not getting a lot of separation of colour from the head to the kind of body of the drink. You know, you can see the head, kind of, which I've deliberately done in the pour, but colour-wise, there's no kind of, oh yeah, that's a rich honey tone. It's really very much the same colour all the way through, which suggests that there's some sort of planning in that, some sort of intention of, you know, we want this to complement milk. And again, as usual, this is oat milk. But let's see how it goes down, what I think, does it taste like fudge, etc. So I've had two kind of fairly big lugs of that. And for something that's marketing itself as fudge, the fudge blend, yeah, the sweetness is just not there for me. However, it is really kind of complementing the creaminess. It's a kind of rich, creamy blend. Although there's no distinctive sweetness, it's something that I would really like cracked out, say, if you're at your nan's having a slice of cake and you have that, brilliant, because that kind of creamy richness really goes nicely with something that's sweet there. And I sort of see where they're coming from by saying fudge. That being said, it's not sweet enough for my liking to be marketed as fudge. I am not a marketeer. I mean, I am, but in a different field, professionally speaking. I don't come up with the ideas of, oh, we should name it this. I have done, but not in coffee. Anyway, I'm rambling. The point is, it's not got a great sweetness of its own. However, I think it would go really well with something that is sweet. Like I say, coffee and cake, that sort of situation. Nice biscuit. but it's really kind of middle of the road. And I'm not saying, oh, middle of the road, as in, to its detriment. I think it knows what it is. I think it knows it's mild as hell. And I think it's a good coffee it's a coffee, morning coffee. As I said, I think you would impress a lot of people with that if you were like, let's have cappuccino and, a slice of Battenberg. And I think you'd get a lot of people going, that's really nice coffee. And I would agree. But as a coffee on its own, it needs something else. It needs to be complemented. It's crying out to be complemented. And that's not a bad thing, but you need to kind of know that before you're buying. And it just really irks me that it's like, yeah, fudge. We're not going to tell you anything else about the tasting notes, just fudge. And I've bought it going, yeah, fudge. And I've, sort of expecting to be disappointed. And again, I need to clarify, I'm not disappointed in the quality of the coffee. It's a really smooth coffee. In fact, it's one of the smoothest coffees I've had in a hell of a long time. And that is an impressive feat on its own. And that's why I think I really would like it. I do like it. And would probably happily buy it again. There's just no real distinctiveness about it. Or not enough for my taste. I can't say, oh yeah, that's got kind of green apple acidity or a fruitiness to it. It's just, it's smooth and it really goes nicely with a creamy complement in terms of milk or oat milk. There's just not enough punch, doesn't pack enough punch. That's what I'm looking for, and that is a personal preference. That's not, dissing the way it's been done. It's just a personal preference, and I do really like it. I just wish I had, a bit of banana bread right now. But yeah, so I think if you know how you take your coffee and you think that'll complement, a coffee morning, a nice breakfast coffee if I'm having French pastries, this, perfect, absolutely perfect. If you want something to wake you up and really kind of give you a kicking in the morning, nah, don't go for this. I really like it in terms of that point of view, but I am going to have to go out and buy something sweet now. But yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised, and I will probably come back to Rave coffee and try maybe something else, something that does have more distinctive tasting notes. But I think you kind of get what you get what you expect in terms of here's fudge, here's medium dark, or I like it, but I can't say a lot about it, and that's possibly what irritates me more, is that I can't pick anything out, or enough out. Anyway, perfectly enjoyable. Thank you very much for watching. Do like and subscribe, and yeah. If you want to check out that good food article, we've tweeted it on our Twitter page, so do find us at Get Beaned on Twitter, and I'll leave a link in the description below. Thank you very much, take care, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.